today we're going to be putting this thing through its paces, and we're also going to be putting me through my paces as well. This is an 18 gauge Brad gun from AEG, brushless model, one of their latest tools that's been released, and for those in the States it'll be labelled Ridgid. Same line of tools, you just call it Ridgid, we call it AEG. It's all made by Tektronix Industries, like Ryobi, Milwaukee, that sort of stuff. So we've got a fully charged 4 amp hour battery on this. We're going to be fixing some pine lining boards to this internal wall here, and then we're going to be putting some trim over the top. We do have this switch down here for those that can see. Switching it to the right basically gives you bump fire mode. So every time you bump the head, it's going to fire, and then you've got single fire mode as well. For those across the Tasman in New Zealand, I think you've only got single fire on yours. And yeah, let's see how we go, and more importantly, let's see how I go. Put the lining boards on this wall, I've just got to pack it out with insulation, and we're also going to seal up the gap between the jamb and the frame with expander foam as well. So a couple of things that I've noticed after using this for a little while now, this little anti-mar pad on the top, that's a little bit annoying when you're pressing it against the wood and it's kind of bending down and not quite getting good contact, and sometimes the gun doesn't even know that it's in contact with the wood and it won't fire. So I think we shot maybe 50 or 60 Brads in the end, and we're still on 4 bars, so that's pretty good. Doesn't seem to fire very well on the lowest power setting as well, at least with the 40 mils that I had. Probably better off having it on half power, 3/4 power. That's what I found was the sweet spot. Otherwise it just doesn't shoot at all. It seems to be the depth adjustment on the top here that seems to work for adjusting the depth. The power control doesn't really seem to do anything other than just make it not fire on a particular power, which is a bit weird. To conclude, probably one of the least comprehensive tool reviews you might have seen. What do I think of it overall? Well, it's definitely a lot heavier than air-powered Brad Nailer is. Probably twice as heavy, if not more. But for me, I was already heavily invested in the AEG battery system, and if you've got Ridgid tools, AEG tools, 18 volts, and you've got plenty of these batteries lying around, it might make sense.
Once I worked out the kink with the power adjustment on the back, which as I mentioned it seemed to only make it fire or not fire, didn't really do anything as far as depth. The depth adjustment works just fine for that. Once I worked out that kink, it drove the nails to a consistent depth every single time. It didn't have a single misfire. This Nomar tip fell off once I reattached it. Once I reattached it, I didn't have any issues with it after that. It was actually pretty solid. Maybe it didn't come attached right from the factory or something. Maybe I should have just had better problem solving in the first place.